Hello, hello, and welcome back to Hero Infinite with Arma.
Hello, that is me. I'm Arm. Hello.
Yay. Who is not going to be using her VTuber this time because her current PC setup doesn't allow it. So sorry about that, people who liked seeing little VTuber Ben.
No one.
I like seeing little VTuber Ben.
I'll figure something out in the future.
Anyway. Words that I can speak. I'm always nervous when I start DMing. So,
How about a recap?
real quick, as of the point when this goes live on YouTube, in the playlist that this is in, there is now going to be a video at the start of the playlist which will explain what Heart of Action is, how you viewing Hero Infinite works, etc., etc. That way I don't have to keep explaining it at the beginning of everything. As far as what you need to have seen before this point, this is the second part of the Bend Over sessions. So you'll want to go over and see Bend Over backwards, because this episode's gonna pick up where that one left off. Excuse me. But other than that, we're going to hop in. So, when we left off, Bend Over had been, hang on, how do I want to start this? Sorry, I'm trying to formulate words in my brain because I have a whole session planned and I gotta hop into it now. Tabletop campaigns are so much easier in your head than they are in actual gameplay, because then you actually have to execute your ideas. It's like being it's like why being a writer sucks. Why can't things just materialize from my brain without any effort? So, as we open up, words.
Wait, are you doing a recap or are you opening up?
We're opening up.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry. As we open up, we are in the a undefined distant point in the future. The robot apocalypse has taken over the world. So, the robot apocalypse has occurred and robots rule the world. Small bastions of human resistance exist. And within them, Dover, a young blonde cyborg boy. Artwork of him is visible within the gas network. Click the links below if you want to go and look for those in the Hero Infinite section. I'm shaking her head disappointedly at me. I can use words. Listen, when you do that, Arm, it makes me more nervous. So,
it's okay.
I can see her face right now. She keeps face palming whenever I pause to think.
You goob.
So,
you know why I'm face palming?
why?
Because now I'm sitting here thinking, oh god, I gotta edit around this, don't I?
You don't have to edit. Which, by the way, everybody, check out the Arma edit of the first session of Bend Over. That's the one that's in the playlist. She insisted on making an edited version, and torturing herself with that. But anyway, words in my mouth. But yeah, young Bend Over, the cyborg with blonde hair. He is currently in the forge of Ruben Vermeer, the leader of the resistance. He's working at his forge, rippling muscles are on display. His messy, slightly groomed beard hanging low as he swings his massive hammer, aided by a hydraulic robot arm to help him lift the weight of the hammer. Ben marveling at the strong specimen of a man. And Ruben turns to him. You know, Ben, I've been doing a lot of thinking.
Oh, yes, yes. Thinking.
The world is getting more and more dangerous. Sometimes I wonder if we'll be able to make it through all of this. But then, I think about what gives me hope. I think about you, Ben. And he looks over, his hair catching the wind majestically. I think about how you give me the hope to drive on to save people. Ben, I wanted to tell you something, and he starts to step forward. And as he does, he drops down on one knee, reaching in his pocket. And then, will you wake up, you idiot? Ben turns over and sees the AI projection of Carbide, his internal artificial intelligence. And we've been knocked out, and with that he jolts awake. We now flash to the present day. 2020 or words, I can use them. 2022. What sucks about this year is when I say a lot of words that are similar, I stumble on my speech. So 2022 is gonna fucking destroy me every time I say it for the rest of this year.
I love you.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. So in the present day of 2022, you are currently in the lab of the Red King, the original Ruben Vermeer, not the clone from the distant future you originate. As you start to sit up a little bit, you feel a tug on your head. You stop, go to reach up to see what it is, but you realize, well, your robot arm is gone, and your human arm is tied down to the bed you're in. The room you're in is it's a large open space, about 2 stories tall, and taking up the entire footprint of the the Vermeer Industries skyscraper. The whole room is set up like a mix of workshop and surveillance room. Screens show news feeds and the visions of drones that fly around the city. All around, half-finished robots and machines sit around. Bags of chips and other such sitting on tables and counters, half-drunk cans of soda, loud country music playing across the room. A song that sounds something about a man's wonderful relationship with their truck. And at the far end of the room, where the most monitors sit, there's a large, basically the classic streamer gamer chair there, and it spins around, and there sits Ruben Vermeer leaning way back in the chair, his big chubby belly visible, little bits of chip dust on his chest, his beard cut short and groomed close to his face. On one hand, he has those little, bracelets that armbands that reduce hand strain. Well, you're certainly an interesting individual. Bend over, I believe? I wouldn't move too much. I've got a cable hooked up to the back of your head. Right into your neural implant. Which I must say is very interesting. Implants like that shouldn't be possible for at least the next 25 years by my estimation. And then you hear within your head, within the next 4 years if he finishes that AI. From Carbide.
Probably faster now that he already knows what it looks like. God, we messed up, didn't we?
We just need to make him understand what we've come here to stop him from doing. Quite the firewall you have here. He leans over and he's typing at the computer, and you see all the screens light up with purple and red ones and zeros. This technology is interesting. miles ahead of what anybody else is, or miles ahead of what anybody else is making. Real quick, I want to take a small pause. Last session, we had called the time travel particles carbonic particles. I've now discovered that carbonic particles are an actual thing.
Yes, I know. I knew that, and I gave you a look last session. Yes.
Why didn't you say anything?
'Cause you're the DM.
I was just pulling a name out my ass that sounded sciencey. So,
Anyway,
we are
what's
going
the new sciencey out of the ass name that we got?
We are going to retcon their name, and they're going to be, what was it? It's instead of carbonic particles, it is going to be fourth dimensional wavelengths. Is what he's detecting.
Got it.
He starts typing, to quite the interesting technology you have here. Miles ahead of what anybody else has. Or of anything I've ever seen. And permeated with fourth dimensional wavelengths. But something about all of this is familiar. As he says that your eyes settle down on the crown that he had been wearing when you fought. And you realize how similar it looks to your ear implants.
I would greatly appreciate it if you could stop rummaging around my head.
Well, forgive me for being a little bit curious about the individual who tried to shoot up a children's entertainment facility.
I wasn't trying to. The robot's evil.
Listen, I don't like Burger Bunny as much as anyone else. Probably one of the most infuriating marketing campaigns that's ever been made. Well, aside from that one pizza place mascot. You know, the other rabbit? Weird how often rabbits are annoying. Anyway, I digress. I can use words. Anyway, I digress. Why exactly were you there? And what's your gripe with Burger Bunny? As he continues typing out the code.
For one, I was curious about their food. I was curious about their food. And second, the bunny was firing at children, like literal fire at children. That's not okay.
You mean the Burger Bunny Magic Act?
Ben is like scrambling for carbide. Is that what it is? Yes, right?
I don't.
Yes.
What?
Like,
Carbide's like, I don't know, but I would assume, since the robot uprising isn't set to occur for another 16 years...
Right, that magic act. I'm sorry, I'm a little out of it. Maybe because you're literally inside my head right now.
You know, there's something familiar about this firewall system. It's almost as if... Maroon. Yes, yes, Mr. Vermeer? Can you come here? Of course. And the large beaten-up robot suit in the corner of the room, a little, like, cable extends out of it and plugs into the wall, and a series of lights run across the wall before going to a spot where there's, like, a little trap, like, you know, like, aperture-style door, which opens up, and a little floating ball comes out with a smiley face, like a smiley face screen. Like under it's got like a little propeller on top, or not one, like four little propellers coming out the side, like a little drone, and it floats up to him. What is it? What is it, Ruben? Can you plug into can you plug into his brain? Help me try and sort through this code. Of course. And they fly over to you. Hi there, anonymous shooter. Please sit still while I connect myself directly to your directly to your brain. And
no, please, no, don't. I just need to talk.
A little not cable, but like metal prod with a plug at the end extends out the bottom, and they land on your face, plugging into your robot eye.
Oh god, can it not plug into like my forehead thingy that literally was there for the
do you have
head implant?
Do you have a forehead thingy?
I have 2 forehead like little plug sockets that are there for the antenna to go into.
So they just plop down on your face and like connect 2 plugs to where those go then.
Thank you, because the other thing is very gruesome.
So now you've got a plug in the back of your head and a little robot pod on your face. As it sits down on you, the propellers like collapse back into it, and it releases 4 little like spider legs to help it wrap onto you better and keep its stability. And it just
a face hugger.
It just sits there on your face, and off to the side, Ruben, he moves his hand, or he puts on his crown piece and he moves his hand, and a bunch of the screens switch to a series of just plain red code instead of red and purple. He starts looking at the 2 of them, like sort of like squinting and looking at it. He's like, "This is my code." He moves to the side and starts typing, and you see a big password like field comes up, and he types into it Maroon 5, and then all the screens light up with images of the robot apocalypse and of the base where the resistance lived, and future Ruben with his rippling muscles. Lots of images of future Ruben with his rippling muscles, of him in his workshop, and him battling robots, and of him in his private chambers, viewed from what appears to be an air vent, and images of him through binoculars from across the base. And then Ruben sits back and starts like shifting through it and looking at all like the robot combat stuff, and he's just like, "Maroon, get off him." "Yes, sir." And a big propeller comes out the top, and they just like fly off and float back over to him and plop down on Maroon's shoulder. I mean, on Ruben's shoulder. And he stands up and starts to walk over. "Who are you? Where did you come from?"
Well, you see, I'm bent over. You already know that. And I'm from the future, here to stop you from a very bad idea. Because as you can already see, it's gonna end badly.
And that idea is?
He takes a deep breath to answer, and then thinks, should I say it? What if I say it and that only gives him the idea? God,
that's not how time travel works, Ben. We're in a new time stream. He already has the idea. We're stopping him from pursuing it.
Right. So, are you already cooking up a plan for a Crimson 1 model of your little floating orb there? Because if you do, you should totally forget about it and don't do it.
Crimson 1? And he slides the chair back over to the computer and starts typing, and you see the red glowing dot that has always symbolized Crimson 1 in the future. The ominous red eye that sits atop Vermeil Tower. "You mean this?" And Carbide, no. That wasn't supposed to be made for another, 1 year?
No, 49 days, something.
Yeah.
2 months.
Get a hero point for reminding me. But yeah, another 40 whatever days. That wasn't supposed to be made for and they say the exact time, but I don't remember the times I'd said previously, so. But yeah. Carbide is panicked. And you see, like,
So
the little
is Ben. He's about to
holographic...
fucking piss himself at the sight of the red dot.
Through your robot eye, you see, like, the little holographic projection that Carbide can create for you fly out of you and start, like, looking at the screen and just being like, no, 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 flying around it panicked. And Ruby's like, I've been working on the new artificial intelligence. A blending of mine and Maroon's mentalities. This is what caused all that?
I guess so, yes. But it shouldn't have been made yet. Why is it already here?
Maroon says, I always knew your ambition would outgrow you someday. They're still in their learning phase. I have them plugged into a simulation. They're basically an infant in this state. But within approximately, and him and Carbide say the exact same time frame of, like, 48 days, whatever. They should be fully grown. But if you say this is what causes all of the issues, he presses the delete key on his computer and you see it go away. I'd say that's problem solved. He spins around and sits back. So that's all you came back here for?
Yes. Yes. That...
So, do you like Marty McFly away now, or what's gonna happen?
See, I was reassured that that wouldn't happen, and, well, he was gonna try and, like, look at his hands, but it's tied down, so I'm still here.
Well, I suppose having somebody who knows future me able to advise me will be good. And he slides across the room to the robot arm. He's still got his crown on, and, like, the thing holding it in the air lowers it down. And he starts looking at it, and this technology alone could push me ahead years of technological advancement. It'll give me a real edge on my competitors. What was this arm made for?
Well, a mega death bot is what I know it from.
I'm hearing an upgrade to the Crimson Armor. He takes the arm down, he slides over and he starts plugging little cables into it. You know, that cloaking field of yours is pretty fancy, but it caused quite the stir for me in the media. He starts while he's plugging cables into the robot arm with one hand, he's typing on the computer at the other, and you see news feeds coming up talking about how the mysterious Crimson King, the newest villain of Discordant City, terrorized a children's entertainment complex. And it's footage of him, firing his laser at the parking lot and hitting cars and stuff.
I'm really sorry about that.
It's alright. All it'll take is me stopping one big major, all it'll take is me stopping one bad situation before the press will turn around. That and a lot of covering my own ass. Once this armor's done, I'm going to send Maroon piloting it around to save some kittens in trees or some shit like that. I like Maroon sitting on his shoulders. Is like, I really like the kittens, and, like, leans against his head a little bit. I know you do, and he pats the robot pod.
Adorable.
But,
so, you see, upgrading your suit with that is great, but also it's kind of my arm, so can I have it back, please?
I just want to download all of its internal blueprints, get an idea of what it looks like. Because if this was all made by me, or a facsimile of me in the form of an AI child I had, then I probably store all of the blueprints of everything I make on board it. Maroon right here contains all of their specs, and I'd be willing to bet that neural implant of you contains the blueprints of how it works if I were to dig further into it.
If I had an intelligence higher than -1,000, I would find this practice to be rather poopy if you don't want your competitors to know what's on your stuff.
Do you bring that up to him?
I don't know. Ben is too stupid to do that. I, as a player, am like, that's kinda...
Do you want to say that Carbide brings that up, like, questioningly,
Probably
and then
should,
Ben
yeah.
asks it? He chuckles, he's like, that's if any of those dumbasses could ever break through my firewalls.
The password is Maroon 5. It's not that hard.
Do you have any bonuses to your observation?
God, I don't... Do I? See, I gave myself some in the Google Doc. You didn't give me any from the transfer. I only got like a one that covers pretty much everything. Cyborg, the hero, is part machine and capable of surpassing human limits. But what the human limits are?
I'm trying to find where there we go. Skill, stealth, cyborg. I guess we never, even though that's one of those things that we knew you would have. Oh, you know what? You should totally have fucking Zoom Eye. That's one thing we'll have to add. Take down a note for me so I can put that into the list of things. Because that's a thing that Ben was like had at his conception, was the ability to zoom with his eyes.
Yes, and back then in the first iteration, it was literally like cartoon like tubes coming out of his eye.
Yeah, context first iteration. She means like there's a lot of really old shitty sketches because Ben was originally conceptualized for another campaign. And boy, oh boy, do I love the old Ben drawings, but they're a lot different than this one. He looks a lot more like a soldier and less like a soft boy. Despite still having been a soft boy.
Anywho.
Yeah. The, words.
Right, the password is just Maroon 5. It's not the hardest. At least I'm no expert, but your robot is called Maroon. I don't know where the number's coming from, but that's already like more than 90% of it.
No one else knows about Maroon here. They're trade secret. And that's if they can even find where the password field is put. That itself is firewall protected. Though a rather rudimentary firewall, so I don't have to waste my time digging through it.
Alright, well, you're Ruben, so you must know what you're doing.
He, under his breath, says, damn right. And then, like, the whole time he's been downloading data off the robot arm. And as he's doing that, suddenly, the screen lights up with the red dot again.
Didn't you delete that just a second ago? Why is it back? Oh my god, it's staring at me. Can you...
I did delete it. And he's, like, looking with confusion. And then, Carbide, you see, like, you know the classic, like, math flying by your head meme?
Yes.
Like, that happens with Carbide, and they're like, oh no. Calculating probabilities, possible future timelines. Crimson has always been one step ahead. And they just look over at you. They've always been able to predict Ruben's next move before they went through with it. What if? And then the fucking words. And then the arm just fucking stands up on its fingers and starts to run away. And Ruben just looks over like, and he quickly like starts typing out a spot, and he's like, shit. He's trying to break into my systems. He knows the passwords. He knows the passwords.
Oh no.
Maroon, stop him getting out and let Ben free. Right away, sir. And they fucking jump onto one of the keyboards and stand on it for a moment, and then go whee and start hopping. Like more legs come out, and they're just running back and forth on two keyboards, typing a million little buttons, like super fast, like spinning around and like dancing on the keyboards essentially. And then all the latches and like the plug in your brain all come off, and you sit up.
Where'd it go?
So hang on. Where's the button? Gotta press the button. UI. Create UI. Villain. Half red. There we go. We enter a combative situation. Oh my god, sorry about that one. She face-palmed again. Arm, you're not allowed to edit out that burp.
Witness me. I'll use all my new installed audio editing plugins to turn it into a robot noise, bitch.
No, just amplify the burp.
Burp with reverb.
So, we enter a competitive situation, where it is you, Ruben, and Maroon versus, Crimson 1.
Right.
Ruben and Maroon are primarily dedicated to stopping it from getting more control over his computerized systems. Your job is going to be to catch the robot hand.
Alright.
Yeah. So, as we begin, you look again. The word. Wait, hang on. Oops. I accidentally moved the thing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's the halfway point. Hold on. Get that. Where's the center point on here? I think that's centered. I'm always thrown off because I realized this after a bit. The center point of the word Hero Infinite lines up with the center point of the canvas, but the center point of the infinity doesn't line up with those spots. I mean, the shape of it does. It's just that the infinity is slightly bigger on one side of it than on the other. And
Stop pointing at my graphic flaw.
Listen, me and Arm double teamed it. We both. I made the font, and then she did the centering of everything, the formatting of the infinity sign.
So I fucked up.
No, I think it's just because the font and oh no, I'm sorry. I love you. You're the best, Arm. You're amazing. Your graphic design is so good, and your video editing is amazing. I love you. Sorry. Anyway. Combative situation begins. The robot arm had jumped off the counter, breaking free of all of the cables on it. And is now... Some were like straight, some of the cables unplugged, some of them broke off, you know. And formerly your robot arm is now running across the room trying to head for the air vents.
Oh no. Yeah, so...
you have access...
around.
You have access to all of your abilities except for any that, call back to your arm, of course.
Nor do I have the ones that call back to my time machine. So I'm just...
What do you mean?
I don't have my headpieces. I don't have...
Did I ever say those were detached? I don't think I did.
Last session you did.
Did I?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
at least as far as I remember from editing.
Those and your gun are off to the side on like a counter space, kind of.
Alright.
So, you get a major and minor action.
Alright. I'm gonna try and cut it off to the air vent. I'm gonna try and run in front of the air vent and, matching my football jersey, stand in front of it in a ready to catch position.
Alright. Do you have any traits that would give you an advantage in this situation, like bonus dice?
I don't think so, but let me check. No. I'm just me.
So, you rolled 2 successes and a crashing failure. It rolled 2 successes, but it was gonna perform as its reaction to you trying to stop it and catch it, a counterattack. Which means both of you got net 1.
Mm-hmm.
You could spend 1 hero point to get rid of the crashing die in order to bring it to you being 1 point ahead. In which case you would catch it.
If I don't catch it now, will it be in the vents?
No.
Okay, then no. Then I'll accept this failure and instead opt for a, hopefully, comedic bit.
So you run for it and dive in the way, and as it, like, sees you, it, like, props itself up so that it's on it's on the shoulder on the ground with the hand facing towards you, and the fingers fold back, the palm opens up, and there's a cannon there. But you never realized there was a cannon in your arm.
Oh my god, this is surprisingly a lot like my nightmares!
Get a hero point, and it's gonna try and fire a laser at you. Which you are able to roll out of the way of without needing to do a check because you and it had a tie.
Instead of rolling, can I just move my head out of the way and it just moves
Yes.
by and then I do my quip, like...
You move your head in the same style as Han Solo, avoiding the bullet in the later cuts of the first Star Wars film.
Yay.
It's like an awkward CGI'd jitter to the side.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, on the side, hold on. Ruben and Maroon are trying to stop Crimson 1 from taking control of the lab. Holy shit, Crimson and Maroon. I mean, Ruben and Maroon, I can use the words, rolled really fucking good.
Yay.
But... I'm rolling a very large number of dice at the moment.
Because of a chain?
Yes, because bursting dice, and it's also very skilled people against very skilled people. Oh. Move 1 point in favor of Crimson, as he's slightly outpacing the two of them. Meanwhile, it is the robot's turn officially. In which it's like the flow of turns here is you get an action, the AI Ruben fight continues on the computer, and then Robot Arm gets an action. Is how the flow is gonna go. The Robot Arm, now propped up and ready to be firing lasers, is gonna try and shoot you with a laser. Believe it or not. Ripley's. It's a joke, because Ripley's Believe It or Not is a book series.
Oh.
What do you do as your reaction to getting shot at?
I'm gonna jump at it and grab at it and try and aim it toward the ceiling.
So, that counts as a counterattack, which means you will do the action with a single point of disadvantage. Are you okay with that?
Yes, because I can buy my way out of it if I wanted to.
Removing disadvantage, you have to pay for that beforehand.
Yes, and I'm just gonna pay for that beforehand. How much do I have to give you?
I should have had my rulebook open, huh? Hang on, it'll only take me 2 seconds to get there. Which I'm currently working on a major update to the Heart of Action rulebook on the side, so everybody who's on the Discord, keep an eye out for that. Oh-ho. It'll contain some of the new rules seen within, this series. Hang on. God, Arm, you're so fucking handsome. I keep looking at you on the side, and you're just so beautiful.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Ignoring a disadvantage costs 3 hero points.
I can spend that, I have those.
Alright.
I've done the haha funnies a few times, I can do that.
So, you got 1 success, and it got 2 successes after calculating crashing failures they rolled.
Ruh-roh.
So, it's beating you by 1 point. You dive at it to try and grab it before it can shoot you, and as you jump forward, you basically just get blasted in the chest and slammed against the wall, because it's not laser, it's like a, particle cannon, if you get what I mean. So it has force and momentum to it.
Oh! Hitting the wall.
As opposed to your laser sniper rifle, which is actually a laser gun, which is on the shelf right nearby you now that you've been blasted into the wall, alongside your brain pieces that you can plug in. But plugging those in would be a major action. Picking up the gun would be a minor action, and then you could still shoot. So it is now back to your turn.
Alright. Ben's gonna look to the arm, to the gun, to the arm, to the gun, and try and calculate if he has enough time to jump for it.
You should, yes.
Then he's gonna scramble and try and grab it. But I don't want to shoot it, is the thing. I'm gonna grab the headpieces first.
You're gonna grab the headpieces and scramble to get them in?
Yep.
As a reaction, the robot arm is gonna try and shoot you. You rolled 4. It rolled 4.
So angry.
You rolled 4, it rolled 4, but because it's counterattacking on your turn, that means it has a disadvantage, meaning it misses you as it shoots its gun, and you grab the pieces, and I like to think it's you grab them, and it's like still like doof 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 trying to shoot at you, and you're just like running as you're plugging the pieces into your head.
Yes. Just in the shot, a bunch of old chips and soda gets eviscerated in the background.
Yee.
No more cleaning up to do.
And as you get it in, another shot is about to hit you, and Carbide says, "Finally!" once the pieces are in you, and right as the laser's about to hit you, you move over to the side as Carbide activates the blink to make you dodge the very last one. You now have all your temporal based powers back.
Which I should probably add that with one hand, I could probably just put one in. Or like it would be a very scrambly.
Yeah, I think as you ran, you got one in. Then you know what? Yes, you only got one in. Get a hero point for purposely putting yourself at a disadvantage. You can perform those powers, but at disadvantage.
Yes.
Let me do another Ruben versus the AI roll. I'm doing that thing where I'm rolling just like a handful's worth of dice. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Which would be so fun if you had them physically.
Yes. That's part of why the system is such you use lots of dice. Like, in the early game, you only use 5 or 6 dice. But the longer it goes, the more dice you roll, which I think is a very fun system to have in play, because then you'll be like, and when you reach, like, Dragon Ball Z levels of strength, every single player is just taking, like, a bag full of dice and like, let's go! Throwing them on the table. I think it makes for a very fun situation. Okay. Has the two of them fight each other. They move they fight the AI and move 2 points back within their favor. Which I just realized this should be 2 separate battles, huh? Give me a second.
Oh, 2 action tracks.
Yes.
2 action tracks. Oh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What it should look like right now. Hang on. I got
the
yeah,
upper
I see.
area is still cut off.
Hang on. Yep, I see. I'm adjusting that right now.
Professional.
Come on, let me. Come on. Transform. Edit transform. Let's adjust the top cropping.
Adjusting the crop top.
Oh. Hold on.
Can he fix it? No, it's fucked.
I love you.
You too, you goof.
There we go. That should be good, right? Yeah, that looks good. So, the top one is is you versus the robot. The bottom is them versus the AI. Alright?
Okay. Alright.
So, you've got your headpiece back in now.
Alright.
What are you going to do? Oops. Oh wait, no, sorry, it's the robot hand's turn, because they just did their combat on their side.
Right,
So,
it is.
we're gonna do the robot hand is not gonna try and shoot you again. It's gonna try and run for the air vent that you're no longer next to.
Oh crap.
What do you do?
I mean, its turn. I guess reaction is I'm gonna try and blink in front of it.
Okay. So I would normally... So in this scenario, using the blink would give you an advantage, meaning an additional die, but because it's malfunctioning, you also have a disadvantage, which means one success will be taken away from the roll. So...
I'm okay with being a bumbling buffoon. That's
yeah.
okay.
So you got 3 successes with 1 crushing failure. It got 4 successes.
Oh.
So it is beating you by 2. You can make it beating you by 1 by spending the hero points to get rid of the. Or hang on, a crushing failure. Oh yeah, by getting rid of the crashing failure. Do you want to get rid of the crashing failure or not?
I mean, it's okay. I'll just lose by 2.
Alright. Words. Words in my mouth. It is now your turn.
I'm gonna scramble to get back on my feet and jam the other headpiece into my forehead.
Alright, so you spend your action getting the other headpiece in. It's now the AI versus Ruben roll. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Maybe not uh-oh. They both rolled kind of shit. Both parties rolled kind of shit. Gonna go up. 1 in their favor. So now it is Robot Hand's turn, which you're now between it and the vent again. The Robot Hand sort of beefs itself a little bit into the full combat mode, and it is going to so you know how I said like it's a workshop and there's various bits of machinery and robots and construction around? It's going to grab a nearby robot part and huck it at you. Alright. So it's like sort of like I'm trying to think. The forearm of a Boston Dynamics style robot getting thrown at you.
Oh god. I'll just duck.
Alright. Oh, it rolled bad.
Yeah, maybe a robot arm chucking another robot arm isn't... Oh no, that look in her face.
So, it rolled 2 successes with 2 crashes coming out to 0. You rolled 3 successes with 1 crash. So, you're able to dodge.
Yay.
I am baffled between yours and Sleepy's session how many crashing failures have been getting rolled. Like, you guys have just been rolling bad. Meanwhile, on Zed's session, he just kept getting dice burst, and rolling fucking beast.
And he's supposed to be the character with the bad luck.
Well, he doesn't have bad luck. He's in... actually, I don't want to talk too much about other sessions because I don't know what order these are going to be going in the playlist necessarily yet.
I mean,
What?
anyway, I didn't say nothing.
I pep, it's alright. Uh, uh, eh, uh,
My turn.
yes.
Um,
I'm going to actually change some colors of things real fast. That's not a good shade. So your track is the one with the purple.
oh god, that's purple.
Does it not look purple?
It's look, it looks like a grape, I guess. I wish it
Sa-
was more pink. I wish it was more hot pink.
I'll make it more hot pinky. Salmon is maroon.
Oh god, that's too close. Ah, well, never mind. It's okay. It's all good. Works.
Do you think it's bad?
Yeah, now everything's kind of red. It's kind of doo-doo. The green should have stayed.
Okay. Oh, that's a different green.
Everything is falling apart.
Everything is awful. Everything sucks when you're not part of a team. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. That's much nicer. Thank you.
So yes. You're the purpley pink.
It is my turn to fight with my arm.
Yes. Who's fighting my girlfriend? Who's fighting Arm? Who do I have to beat up?
I have to beat myself up. Which I will.
I'm gonna beat you up because you're hurting yourself, but then I'm gonna beat me up because I hurt you.
Eh.
But that's okay, because I'm into that. My kink is beating myself. Arm has gone very quiet because she's looking at me angrily. She doesn't like me making innuendo jokes on stream.
I don't.
I don't think she watches a lot of my streams.
I don't. Anyway, I don't know what to do, because, you see, Insanity is doing the same thing twice and expecting a different outcome, but I really can't think of anything else but throwing myself at this arm.
And trying to grab it?
Yes. Which is amazing, because I only have one arm, because, yes, I'm just gonna full body tackle and throw myself on it.
So, you rolled 3 successes thanks to a burst. It rolled 5 successes thanks to 2 bursts.
Fuck you! I mean...
And it's counter-attacking, which removes one of its successes, but that means it's still beating you by 1. So
again,
I've
literally said Insanity is,
Ben goes to jump onto it, and, like, right as he's about to land on it, the fingers fold back, and you have that brief moment in your head of, like, I imagine, like, both you and Carbide at the same time going, uh-oh, and then, poof, blasted back into the wall again.
It's beating me up!
And once again, right next to you now is your laser rifle.
I don't want to shoot my arm, I need my fucking jerk-off hand.
I'm surprised you used the metal hand. I feel like with their phobia, they wouldn't do that. Unless being scared while they're jerking off is what really gets them.
No, my headcanon is that it's his dominant hand that got yeeted. Anyway.
How do you do this with the left hand? I can't figure it out. It feels too awkward, like someone else is doing it. But the robot arm feels like it's someone else doing it too.
Are you making fun of me?
No, I'm making jokes. I love you. I love your characters. They're goofy and fun.
I'm gonna have it that the sniper rifle just literally falls into the side of his head like donk.
I'll allow that. Get a hero point for the nice little descriptive detail. Oh, I gotta do the Ruben versus AI roll real fast.
Alright.
Oh, and then it's the robot's turn as well. And so, Ruben versus AI. It's worth mentioning there is a rule that the slider cannot move more than... So, actually, I'll probably explain all of this in the other video, but I'm saying this to you. I've already established that there's now a rule of the challenge slider cannot move more than 5 pips at a time. And now, additionally, I'll actually even mark it differently because of this. The end pips are given special treatment. If I were about to hit the, like, if I were about to go over with the final attack, the last pip will always be preserved. Meaning, like, if you get what do you get what I mean?
No, that's why I looked at you confused.
Like, and so real quick, just for the sake of it, let's say this was the situation you were in. Now, I had already said they can't move forward more than 5 pips at a time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that he got 3 successes right now. Rather than 1, 2, 3, you're dead, it would actually only go 1, 2. The last hit pip requires a separate attack to be filled in.
Huh, okay.
This is another provision to stop one-hit KOs from occurring, or like very fast KOs.
I'm worried it might become bullet spongy, but we'll see.
The exception, I should say, or no, right, I was gonna say a thing. There is potential exceptions to this rule at times, but not often. You know?
Alright.
But anyway, let's look at the AI fight. Again, it's Ruben typing at the computer rapidly, Maroon dancing around on a keyboard, the AI looking at them menacingly. He's just standing there, menacingly!
They got the much cooler fight.
Yeah, the typing at a keyboard fight.
Like, I'm imagining, like, Hackerman music in the background and, like, cool shots and fucking Cheeto dust, like...
Cheeto dust. Ah, yes. Very good. Sorry, not Cheetos. There aren't there's no... This world's now Cheetos. This world has, cheese lions. Cheese lions, cheese puffs.
Chotters.
Chotters, the cheddar otter. I'm Chotter, the cheddar otter. Yeah! Wears sunglasses and flirts with furries on Twitter, on in-universe Twitter equivalent. Do you know
Every marketing campaign in this universe seems to be tied to some type of animal.
Like in real life. Have you ever paid attention to that? For a long time, that was the whole thing. But have you heard about that? How Chester Cheetah tried to flirt with furries?
No, I have not.
A bunch of furries on Twitter started asking Tony the Tiger to top them. And so it started mass blocking accounts. And so Chester Cheetah was like, listen, that other food brand, Big Cat may not be willing to do things with all of you, but I'm on board for it.
Oh, God.
And started actively flirting with furries. But what I kind of love was all the furries were like, no, we are not cool, Chester Cheetah. Tony the Tiger's like the big comforting Bara daddy. You're like that dad that got arrested for 4 years and is now on parole but still doing cocaine in secret.
It's funny. But yeah, anyway, chotter dust everywhere.
One more off-topic comment. The singer of the Mean One, Minster Grinch, is the same person who voice acts Tony the Tiger. I'm 100% on board with the headcanon that this means that once the Grinch and Tony the Tiger dated, but the Grinch cheated on him, so now that Tony the Tiger wrote a song to talk shit on him. Also, one more side tangent from that. At no point does your Mean One Mr. Grinch make any mention of Christmas. It is not a Christmas song. You can tell the Grinch to go fuck himself year-round. Arm is doing the get back on track hand signal to me.
No, I'm doing the hand signal to fix the camera, you goober.
Ow! They're the same hand signal.
No, they're not.
They're similar hand signals.
They're not by far.
I'm neurodivergent. Anyway, Ruben did the roll, and he came out. He got 6 successes total due to bursts, and the robot, due to how many crashing failures it had, got 1 success. So, there we go. Ruben is very close to shutting down that robot, and you're very close to letting that arm escape. It is the robot hand's turn. And it is going to... but it is going to fucking... It is going to basically run at you, jump, and try and, like, downward punch your face with all of its weight.
Oh, no. Oh, but it... Since I had the gun pat onto my head, I'm gonna use it instead. God, I'm an idiot, Brian.
You're gonna try and shoot it?
No, people are gonna hate me. I'm gonna try and punt it like a golf ball. Just hit it with the
Oh,
gun.
that's fun. That still counts as a counterattack, which means it'll come with disadvantage. Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you gonna keep the disadvantage or buy it away with hero points?
I'll buy it away with hero points and get shafted.
That's 3 hero points. So, due to a burst, the robot arm rolled 3 successes, and you rolled 2 plus a crashing failure.
By the way, I love that I was constantly like, I can't spend hero points, I don't have enough hero points, and I scrolled down in my list of hero points, I have like 140 stored away, but I'm like, don't spend them, they're valuable.
I just laughed and shot snot all over myself.
Gross.
It's
Didn't
like
need to know that.
It's like when you get those like those unbuyable healing items in games and refuse to ever use them.
Yes, me. 100%.
Except you can buy hero points for $10 a pot. No. Maybe I'll let people buy hero points if they really want to. Maybe I'll let chat buy hero points for players. Haha. Oh, hey, Greater Two Soul. Oh, I Pep. Sorry to hear that. Anyway. Let me put away that gross tissue trash. Now then. So, their arm currently has 2 successes on you, but you can spend 1 hero point to make that 1 success on top of you. What do you think?
I think that it's gonna punch me in the face.
Alright, you're not gonna spend the hero point? So, if fucking...
I mean... I just said that I'm like super anxious about spending them, but...
Alright. So it leaps up, fucking... You're like, oh! Like, bring up your gun to block yourself, and it fucking punches... Like, it hits the gun, and then, poof! You get hit in the face with your own gun. And now the robot arm is like... It's now... Has it's there, grabs onto your gun, and is like hanging onto your arm to hold itself up. So fucking... I used to have pretty bad, like, night vision things, you know, not sleeping well, seeing things in the dark. But then Arm it helped cure my anxiety and made it all better.
Aww.
We often make the sort of semi-joke that we chased each other's demons away. I love
fucking you. Gay. The duality, oh man.
God, with my roommates, I live with my brother and his fiance, and like one time they like, they said like something cute to each other and then kissed, and then I went, gay, but in a good way, and they both doubled over laughing.
Oh.
Anyway, robot's turn done, it's now your turn.
But it's on me now, right? Like, it hit me in the face.
It's like on your gun.
Will you stop it? I'm gonna try and... I guess... I was gonna say grab it, but I have one... I'm still gonna try and grab it. Fuck it. I'm gonna give it, like, a bear hug.
It's gonna try and dodge toward the air vent.
You really want me to shoot this thing, don't you?
So it got 4 successes, and you got 2 successes and 2 crashing failures.
Holy fucking shit! Can I buy my way out of this? Can I just throw as many hero points at you that it's at least even? No, actually, like 1 success.
Sorry, if you want to tie, the cost will be, let me look at this, 2 for getting rid of the crashing failures, or the dice breaks, not crashing failures, dice breaks. I keep mixing up the terminology. And another 10 to tie. So that means 12 to tie, 17 to get 1 point ahead.
I'm gonna be spending 17 hero points just so I can fucking get 1 up on this bitch-ass hand.
For an additional 20, you can raise it 4 more.
No. I want to win fair and square, she said, buying cheat codes.
I summon Spectral Sickle and Stab!
I wish.
That's good, I like that. I mean, if you want to find a Spectral Sickle in Ruben's lab, you can for 10,000 hero points.
I don't have that many.
I'm adjusting my hair.
So, now that I've totally not fucking cheat coded.
You fucking, like, shit, like, it tries to jump off and you run for the vent and you throw your weight on it and you're, like, holding it with one arm next to your gun. Meanwhile, on the side, insert 80s music as cool hacker battle continues. With unrealistic visuals for what that would be like. Will a green Jolly Rancher suffice? You can find a green Jolly Rancher on the ground for nothing because Ruben's a slob.
Oh my god, I almost ate it as I roll around on the floor.
Oh man, it makes you think of, have you ever seen Paul Blart Mall Cop?
I have not seen.
Do you care about spoilers?
Spoilers for the Paul Blart movie? I don't think so.
So, the whole bit of it is that, he has diabetes and he's a mall cop, and the evil villains are in the mall trying to steal a thing that I don't remember. And at one scene, he's the kind of diabetic where he needs to keep up a constant intake of sugar or he'll go into diabetic, like, whatever. And the villains, like, capture him and they basically take away his bag of treats and his, insulin to leave him to die. And he's sitting there on the floor going into, like, the insulin shock, and he looks over and there's an old lollipop covered in dust and grime sitting underneath the desk. And he, like, crawls across the floor with dramatic music as he grabs it and starts, like, sucking on it and chewing on it.
Oh, nasty. That sounds about the humor that show has.
Yeah, it's so gross. A lot of people talked about how it's low-key fat-phobic at times. And I'd like to disagree, but kinda not wrong. Like, a lot of people call things fat-phobic when they're totally not, but yeah, no, there's some really fat-phobic jokes in Paul Blart. Paul Blart 2 is way fucking better. Anyway, I was talking like that because I was filling air while I did dice rolls.
Ah, gotcha.
And, Ruben got a fuck ton of successes over the AI, so, bum, the AI is on its final leg.
Yeah, this feels about right.
And it's now the robot's turn. So you're holding it. It's going to turn its palm at you, basically the wrist rotating 180 degrees, and charge its particle cannon.
Uh-oh.
What's your reaction?
Crying is a free action. Crying is a free action.
Crying is a minor action. No, crying is a free action. I saw a thing of, like, a person talked about how they got the crying is a free action shirt. And fucking, they wore it to one session, the GM got a laugh out of it, and told them to wear it to the next one. And the next session, the DM is wearing a shirt that says, "Not at my table."
Oh my god. But yeah, God. I'm just gonna try and, I guess, lean out of the way.
A dodge?
Like, still hold it, but like
Yeah, but
lean
that's a
aside.
dodge.
Yeah, dodge.
So you rolled 2 successes with a one crashing failure. And it rolled 5 successes!
What
You and it are rolling you and it keep rolling the same number of dice, Arm. You're both rolling average skill check level of 5 dice. Ooh, someone said my name.
I always knew that the robot arm was the better part of Ben.
Sorry, someone's letting me know my laundry was done in the dryer. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, actual, like, I love this is me starting to chat. I love tabletop RPGs, but I'm not a big fan of D&D. I feel like the rules of D&D often get in the way of it being fun. I would 100% recommend Atomic Highway as a gateway tabletop RPG. You can find it for free online if you look it up. It's really simple, really fun, and a nice Mad Max-inspired apocalypse system.
I mean, it sounds more like they had one of those bad tables, at least from it, since they like D&D.
I feel like D&D is a bad introduction to, like, system, honestly. D&D 5th edition is way better than previous versions, but it's not a very good intro TTRPG because it's really complex compared to others. Like, I'm not saying it's, like, impossible to understand, but I'm saying there's way better ones to lead people in with. Anyway. So, you got 2 successes, 1 crashing failure, and the robot got 5.
God, I'm gonna get absolutely annihilated by this arm.
Are you okay with that?
I'd have to buy like a bazillion fucking points in order not to.
In order to tie, you would need to spend 5, 10, 15, 16 points just to tie. 21 to win by 1 point.
Is this just a clever ruse to get me out of all the hero points that I've collected?
No. It is just awful rolling.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be spending it. I'm just gonna suffer.
So, you're up to your last leg. And with
I'm just gonna, like, as I roll
turn.
around, I'm gonna, like...
Oh, yeah. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
I was just gonna say, as I'm, like, rolling around with it, I desperately look over to Hacker Man. I'm like, it's getting away!
Mm-hmm. And as you say that, like, you're, like, holding it against you, you look up with the charged laser in your face, it's getting away! Boom! It blasts your face, and, like, it lifts itself up off of you as you just have, like, you know, like, soot face, hair blown back thing, like in a cartoon. Also,
has it
Vampire Masquerade and Call of Cthulhu are very tight systems, Greater Two Souls. But anyway, sorry, what were you saying?
So it escaped my grapple?
Yes. It blasted up, you were like, ah! And now it, like, flops down on top of you, and the two of you are next to the airman still. And now it's your action.
I'm gonna, like, fix my hair.
Mm-hmm.
Then grab my gun as best I can with the one hand, and I'm gonna take aim.
You're gonna try and shoot it?
I'm gonna try and shoot it.
Hacker Man, fuck you, bitch, whoop whoop. You get a bonus die when using a gun, right?
I do get a bonus die when
you're gonna get 1 disadvantage because you're firing with 1 arm.
Alright.
Arm.
Please, no.
You rolled 1 success, which is eliminated by the disadvantage, and 2 crashing failures.
What the fuck are you doing to me? I'm gonna start rolling myself if you keep doing this to me.
Oh no! I'm so sorry!
No, you're not.
I mean, low-key, it's hilarious, but I'm so sorry! Like, Arm, do you not understand how statistically unlikely these rolls have been? This many occurring this bad? You have a 50-50 chance of succeeding and a 1 in 10 chance of getting a crashing fail.
I'm so used to getting shit on that
And
this
you've
seems
rolled
normal.
so many crashing failures.
I've had a crashing failure, I think, every single roll. If I edit this one, I should make a counter at the top that says crashing failures. Like 1, 2, 3.
Oh! And it rolled 4 successes. So you take your gun, aim up at it, dramatically pull your gun, aim down the barrel towards it. It looks to you like standing over, looking like as afraid as an arm can look. You fire the laser. It flies past it, hits a little bit of reflective surface next to the vent, bounces back at you, and hits you.
Donk.
And then the arm just looks back and forth, and then dips down the air vent. The robot arm has escaped. Meanwhile, let's see how Ruben's roll goes. He needs 1 success over the enemy.
Come on, Ruben. Don't be me.
You know what? Ruben's been rolling beast. He's been taking all of the luck. Ruben rolled 0 successes. And the AI rolled 3 successes with 4 crashing failures, because it rolls 10 dice on its actions. Meaning, despite Ruben getting 0 successes, the AI still fails.
I mean, good.
Ruben successfully wipes the AI from his system and gets it off.
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious.
He was probably too distracted by my ass shouting for him to fucking help me.
So Ruben lets out a sigh as he spins around in his seat. He's like, I think we took it out.
Meanwhile, he sees me on all 4s, right in front of the air vent.
Covered in bruises and burns. Did you get the arm?
About that. And I, on my belly, with my one good arm, point at the open air vent.
Carbide is just sitting there next to you and face plants. I'm calculating possible timeline divergence. Branches towards the future. I theorize that should the robot go uncontained, we may see the same apocalyptic scenario. But I estimate we've delayed it by a minimum of 20 years. That's a good thing. We'll die before anything happens. Well, you will. And I'll be stuck as a machine in your rotting human body. Why couldn't I get put in my master? I would have been here with 2 Rubens.
I'm sorry. It couldn't have gone far yet, right? Where did these go?
Out the side of the building. How durable are those robot arms?
Well, according to Carbide, they can withstand laser blasts.
He looks over at his mech armor and he's like, well, I can't follow it. But I guess on the bright side, and he looks over back to the computer where it's displaying the blueprints of the robot arm. I can still get... Excuse me. I can still make you a new one. What do you think of the color red? I like red.
I mean, if that's what you want.
And he goes over and sits down. It's just an arm. How much damage can one robot arm do?
Flash forward in Ben's eyes to a city ablaze, screams everywhere.
God, get a hero point. I was actually gonna say, what we then cut to is the street below where the robot arm runs along, goes over to a smart car that's parked, and it, like, rests up, and somebody's looking over like, what the fuck? It puts its finger in the keyhole, turns the door, opens it, and the guy goes, what? My car! My car! As it gets in, puts its lower arm on the gas pedal and starts to drive away it just plugs itself into like a plug on the smart car. The car starts to drive and it starts turning the wheel, driving away.
That's much better than what I had in mind, because in my alternate history, it runs out on the road, and much like Ben doesn't understand road safety, it just gets fucking hit.
Yeah, no, it hijacks the car and drives away with it.
Oh, fucking GTA Arm style.
Well, that was, Bend Over Backwards, or Hero Infant Bend Over Backwards, Blast from the Future. The blast from the future was the AI still being in you, and blasting you a lot. I might... That's the current name. I might actually change that before the final release. We'll see. But yeah. I'd say that went pretty well. We could keep going with a little bit of roleplay of you interacting with Ruben more. I realized I kind of gypped you on that.
I guess.
Alright.
I was surprised about the ending, but you're the DM.
Yeah? Well, what about the ending surprised you? Just the hard cut end?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can keep going. I was wrapping up and I was like, wait, no, we still have, because I'm used to the last couple sessions had sort of a deadline on them. You know what I mean? But this one doesn't. Or like, a time had to be done by. When Ruben frees himself, he gains pure clarity. And then the downside of feeling his bone being moist inside his body. Why? What? Your bones aren't just moist. They produce the blood in your body. Your bones drip. I'm gonna throw out a concept. Necromancer resurrects a skeleton, and the marrow continues to produce new blood. Bleeding skeletons. Bleeding skeletons. Bleeding skeletons. Bleeding skeleton! Anyway. Ugh, I wonder how much you're gonna cut out of this when you try and edit it. If you try and edit it. I assume you're gonna try and edit it again because you're stubborn like that.
Maybe.
Mwah.
Witness me boil this down to 15 minutes.
15 minutes out of an hour 23. That'd be impressive and probably lose a lot. Anyway, but that's why I always upload the unedited versions as well. Anyway, yeah, Ruben sits down, he just starts typing, and Maroon, like, walks over and, like, pats his hand with their little robot pincer. Or their little robot, like, foot. It's okay. We'll be able to track it down.
I hope you're right. God, what if you're not? Then I've messed it all up. Man. I shouldn't have been sent back. You're right, Carbite.
Who's Carbite? He looks over at you.
The voice inside my head.
Right. Get a hero point. He turns back and Carbite is like, you aren't a complete and utter failure. You were able to, we were at least able to stop Ruben from putting it into full development. It now isn't immediately getting plugged into all of Arma Industries' systems. Again, you bought us 20 years. Though you did kickstart the AI being active a little bit in advance. Still, it planned so far ahead of us. It was able to foresee, or is it able... It had enough hindsight to plant itself within your robot arm and to expect you to be the one sent back. I'm running calculations now. And you see her thinking, like, going back and forth, and, like, little images of your memories are going up, and, like, she's moving them around, looking at them, or she, he, they, it. What? We didn't discuss this at length. What gender is Carbide supposed to be? For some reason, my brain defaulted to she. Like, Maroon's a they, Carbide's a she, but, it's your AI, or your AI.
It's okay. At first I was confused because I did in my head have them a they, but
We can
I'm
go
okay
with
with them.
they.
No, don't. You've called her she the whole first session. It's okay.
They. Carbide's a
No.
they.
No, I object because I've given them a female presenting voice now because of it, so no.
Okay, I'm sorry. So, they're sitting there going through all, like, the images of memories, and, like, you see, like, calculations moving around their head again. In the field, the robots seem to have shown a particular interest in taking out those with neural implants. Yet time and time again, and you see a bunch of moments in the future, your past, of, like, you narrowly avoiding death, you always seemed to escape. Crimson had made you a plant. It knew you would be close to Reuben. And it must have known the time travel plan. It had put a child in you waiting. A Crimson 2. And now that's what we have to deal with.
See, God, you're absolutely right. I shouldn't have come back. God! That's awful.
But there's one. But we do have an advantage. Now it's here, and Reuben was able to stop it from taking control of the systems. It wasn't expecting the computer skill, the sheer unbelievable computing skills of the original Reuben being able to block it. And then Reuben's like, change that password, change that password. Need to change my email's password now.
Love that.
And Maroon sits down and is Maroon is just sort of staring at you. I'm continuing to run possible calculations of future occurrences. But now we're entering the era of the age of chaos theory. The more time passes from my initial data set, the more unpredictable things will become. And before, there was a reliability. I had a rough estimation of the occurrences that would be happening, but our mere presence, well, we've interrupted the introduction of the Crimson King. People expect him to be the defender of the city, and you see a bunch of, like, news feeds and clips and information that Carbide had programmed in them. They were set to stop all sorts of threats that would be approaching this city. But now, they're set to stop all sorts of threats that are approaching the city. But now, what if we've delayed that? Crimson 1 might not be the greatest, or Crimson 2 might not be the greatest threat on our board anymore. We could face far greater threats. And you see a brief image of a giant robot fighting a giant monster in the bay of the city as one of them.
These are calculations you're running, right? Not actual things.
This is all stuff Reuben did before Crimson 1 turned on them.
Oh, so back in my timeline, when Crimson 1 was made, right? Because right now everyone thinks he's a kind of a villain.
Yes. And in addition, Ruben had the aid of Crimson One, advancing his technological developments dramatically. We might not be able to have the same defenses for the city as they did in the old timeline.
I mean, I'm just gonna say this to you quietly, but we might not have the Crimson One, but if things really, really turn bad, I could just try and show you to him, and maybe that will give him some, brain sparkle ideas. Hopefully only good ones, and not ones that turn everything into another hellscape.
Except there's one problem. Ruben our Ruben saw the problem that Crimson One had become, and he was afraid of the possibility of me doing the same. I'm incapable of jumping to another piece of hardware. I'm stuck in you. If I were to get taken out, coding put into me would instantly begin to dissolve me. I was supposed to be in him, but Crimson One stopped that. And now I'm stuck in you.
I'm sorry. I didn't know it was that bad.
But at least we're with Ruben. And I can see my glorious master again. And she lays across the counter looking at him, leaning onto Maroon, has a thing to prop them up. Of course, they're just a hologram, so they don't need that, but... And again, yeah. Maroon is just grilling you. And then Ruben's like, are you done talking to yourself?
Just as Ben was thinking that he's so much more chubby than his original Ruben that he always fawned over.
Hmm?
Yes, I'm done talking to myself, I think. Yes.
So, I have a question. And he starts going through, some of the images. This. And he shows, the buff version of him. How old was I? And from your knowledge, he was around 25.
I think he was somewhere in his 20s.
I'm 30. And he looks over. Why do I look so young in the future?
You see, that is you, but a different you. So, apparently you had the grandiose idea to clone yourself when you were kind of getting too old for this shit.
Suddenly looks excited and looks over to Maroon. It would work? And Maroon's like, oh, it was plausible. And he immediately starts typing, so you're saying Operation Red Phoenix is a success in the future?
Well, yes.
What other things do I have? What else would which technologies aren't dead ends? This is a possible advantage we have. That ritzy ass gold suited asshole that ritzy ass gold suited asshole won't be able to keep up with me now. He starts typing. For those who don't know, that's a reference to another session.
I was gonna ask, but now I don't feel like I should.
Get the name of the character.
Got you. I won't ask.
God. It's from the last fucking...
I know it's from D'Angelo, but...
Yeah, I forget his name, and I don't want to dig through my notes for it.
That's all good. Well...
I gotta take better notes. Sorry.
Tell you about, smart cars?
We...
Don't know if it helps, though.
We have smart cars. And then you hear a little door open up, and a Roomba starts to drive out from the side of the room with big old googly eyes on it, and a maid dress, design on it. And Ruben just looks over at it nervously.
I'm looking at it fucking terrified, and I'm gonna jump onto whatever couch or high place there is, like a scared cat.
Don't judge me. And he just turns back to the computer and starts typing.
It's a murder disc. I've seen these. In the future, they're just strapped with knives.
It's a Roomba. They're for cleaning. It then bumps into the wall. Backs up a little bit, turns around, starts to drive again.
They don't do that.
It's a Japanese model. Yeah, that's it.
Right. I think it's stuck on something.
Oh no, it backed up and turned around, I said.
Yeah, no, I'm just imagining because you described the room as cluttered that it's not gonna have much of a chance to get around.
It's on fucking like a chip bag and like gets propped up a little bit and is stuck there. Yeah. Excuse me. And like I guess like Ruben would start like asking you more about like what the future's like, and luckily, Carbide is able to feed you a bunch of information that Ruben gave him.
Yeah, because I sure as fuck wouldn't know.
The two of you sit there and talk about like things that are possible that he's made. And at any point, do you explain Carbide in greater detail to him?
I would think to myself if that's what Carbide wants, because I had offered it in essentially earlier, being like, "Yeah, I could tell him about you," but they didn't say anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, and they never specified one way or the other.
Yeah. So, I guess for the time being, unless Carbide wishes otherwise, I'll just keep quiet, fearing that it might spur bad ideas.
Naughty thoughts.
Naughty thoughts.
I want to fuck the AI in your head.
Give me a head.
But yeah, so you guys, words. Yeah, you guys talk about, like, the technologies he would invent, and he starts, like, basically, like, looking at different projects he was considering and, like, putting some of them into green light and, like, continuing research on them and such.
So, how should we go about tracking that darn thing?
I'll try and code up an algorithm to search the city for it. And of course I've got my security drone set, I got my, words, I can speak. I've got my crimson drones flying around the city looking for crime. All they have to do is keep an eye out for a robotic arm and report back to me. They're all built on my neural network, and Maroon, like, smiles a little bit.
Ben's still wary of that thing. It's clearly a robot. It's scary.
And he continues sitting there typing and working at things. Still, I'm surprised that an AI that combines all of mine and Maroon's best traits would have caused the robot apocalypse. Something must have gone wrong in its coding. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Maybe they're not the best traits.
What do you mean by that?
I mean, clearly the outcome was bad, so maybe whatever you picked weren't the best traits?
Amongst all the testing, Crimson 1 had proven to be the most successful, though. Maybe I should go back and pick one of the other AI that I had considered.
Oh, no, don't pick anything!
I was gonna say, as he says that, Carbide's just like, Apocalypse Point jumped forward 15 years.
Stop thinking about it. Don't do that.
Why not?
That just shifted everything awful back to 5 years from now. So you must have had the stupid idea to do it in 5 years. Don't.
What, do you have or is there some sort of, sorry. Are you still able to see possible futures?
Yes. Yes, I can. You see, I think maybe... Do you want to meet him?
You look off to the side. I'd love to, although I don't have any way to display myself to him. You can at least tell him of me.
There's someone, not me, smarter, that was supposed to meet you, but can't because they're in me, that can still calculate the future.
He sort of squints and Carbide just face palms.
I'm sorry, it's an AI. It's in my head, but it can't come out, and you shouldn't try to take it out because it will make it delete, because the future Ruben thought of that, so you don't accidentally make another Crimson out of it.
That makes sense. And if it's an AI I created, it must be infallible in its calculations.
Well,
as he says that, Carbide's just like, looks very satisfied. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
Well, about that, it's supposed to be, if it was hooked up to you, but since it's hooked up to me, and according to it, I'm an way more infallible being, its calculations have been a little bit off.
And I imagine it needs to intake more data in order to calculate more probabilities. Maybe I can set up a social media info room for you here on the tower. I'll make you a sort of pod in the corner, and he motions off to the side of the room. I mean, it's not like you have anywhere else to go, right?
I don't know. That'd be nice.
So, and it'd be useless to just leave a cyborg sitting around inside the tower. Maybe the next time I go out fighting crime, I can take you along. So, I can't just go around calling you by your name while we're out. While we're out fighting crime. Well, you'll need a name of sorts.
I have a name.
What is it?
Bend over. Please don't spring on me that I have to come up with a name on this.
You don't want to come up with a sidekick name?
No. You remember what his old name used to be?
What was it? I remember.
Because I'm a haha funny man, and because one stupid innuendo name isn't enough, he had a second.
What was it?
It was Gaylord Cox.
Gaylord Cox!
Please don't!
Crimson King and Gaylord!
Shut up, no!
Jesus Christ.
Please don't. I'm sorry, I'm gonna edit that shit out.
Oh, well, there'll be the unedited version. What if it was Gaylord?
No.
Gaylord.
No. Listen, bend over. This is whole spiel. I don't wanna.
Sorry. He sits
I
there.
can come up with a different name.
Okay,
but...
it's alright. He looks at you for a moment. He's like, you had that mask that came up, right?
Right.
And it's sort of the hot pink mask. And he's like, you'll be the Pink Knight. And he turns and starts typing again. So the Crimson King and the Pink Knight. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, that's fine. It's better than fucking Gaylord Cox!
And that will be the session. And you know what? Low-key, I think that when this goes live on YouTube, it won't be Blast from the Future. I think it'll be Pink Knight.
Alright.
And do you think that's a good wrapping point?
Yeah, that's better.
Although I will say,
slight
time-lapse thing, he would eventually start to build you a new arm, and then he would ultimately make it hot pink instead of red. To match your face mask. And he would give you, we'll go down a full rundown, but he's gonna upgrade your gear for the start of next session. Because you're his sidekick.
Alright.
Yeah. Let me just... Yes, that has been Hero Infinite. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. Ta-ta.
Bye.
Gaylord Cox.